Kenny has said in 2004, I think it was 2003 actually, Siobhan, but in 2004...
He's always at it.
We played Manchester City, where you saved 2 super saves. What was going through your head after both saves, and what did Savage say? What did Robbie Savage say to you after? So I think that was from Sibierski, wasn't it? The header that
double
she's referring to.
Yeah.
One of the best saves I've ever seen.
After I made the second save, I was praying that Darren Purse didn't smack it into the goal with his left foot. It was an unbelievable clearance underneath the crossbar with his left foot and put it out for a corner, I think it was.
Because that's the funny thing about that. I said that to Darren the other week. He did actually like it on Twitter. I said, that video, it gets shown every now and then. It got shown again. Yeah. And the funny thing is, he nearly scores an own goal after you've done that. He nearly shanks it into the net. And I was like, you'd have probably crucified him if that had actually gone in the net after wasting that save of yours.
I was actually disappointed because I think it was John Macken has spun and hit the first one, and I've read it and I've almost dived a little bit beyond it, and I've tried to get my knee out of the way to gather it into my body, but it's hit my knee and gone back out to Sibierski. So then he's got the header in. So I was a bit disappointed with the first one, but then luckily it was just enough for the fingertip onto the post, and then. Darren Purse, unbelievable save. But like I said earlier, it would have been an irrelevant save to me if we'd have gone and lost the game, but we drew the game 0-0. And it's a valuable point for us. And Kevin Keegan being a former manager of mine, so that was pleasing as well. But yeah, another point towards a good season for us.
Yeah. So what did he say to you?
I can't remember what Robbie said, but Steve McManaman said something like, "What do you think you're doing?" It was him that I remember saying something for, and then Sam was just a bit kind of well done, and I'm now like, look, let's defend this corner now. We haven't cleared up yet. So, it was Steve McManaman that kind of said, what are you playing at, kind of thing. Sam said well done or whatever, but Sav was Sav, like he'd be the first one to come and hammer me if I hadn't saved it properly. So,
Paul Gill's asking, if you could play outfield, what position do you think you would be best at?
I actually didn't go in goal until I was 19, believe it or not. I was always an outfield player, and it's only when I was in the army that I got persuaded to go in goal by accident. So I was a striker, and obviously never good enough to make it professionally. But I played as a striker, for many a year, So, yeah.
So up front then, yeah?
You can't, you ask any keeper, they'd love to play outfield in the 5-a-sides and bang some goals in, absolutely,
Yeah.
Correct you on something, though.
Sorry?
When you were in the army, you weren't persuaded to go in goal, you were told to go in goal.
Yeah.
It was an order. How weird is it that something as strange and as simple as that has changed your life completely?
Yeah, I finished basic training. There's just a huge puddle in the goal mouth, and I'd gone along for trials for the regiment team, and keeper wouldn't dive in the puddle. So just for banter, I said, "I'll give the gloves here," and that was it. Never looked back, really.
Mike, just a quick one. How do you go end up from the army into league football? Because that's an unusual step for players to take.
Playing a non-league football. I started off with Petersfield United, and I went to Canberra Town in the National League as it is now for my second season straight away. Didn't get straight into their first team, so I went on loan to Basingstoke and played a few games there. And then Farnborough was struggling, so they called me back, and we finished the season there. We were bottom of the league anyway. Ended up getting relegated, but then I stayed with them the season after that. We got promoted straight back the National League, had another season there, and then Ray Clements was manager at Barnet, and he gave me a call over the summer and said that he's had scouts watch me all season. The report's been very good. He hasn't actually had the chance to watch me himself. When I got there June time for a 2-hour training session with him, and he had a couple of apprentices up there, worked for 2 hours, and then he obviously liked what he saw and asked how to go about getting me out of the army, and would I like to have a go at it, as a professional. So that was it.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history, yeah.
Just a quick one. Obviously, your first manager in league football. I'm guessing that's a good one to learn from as a goalkeeper.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we you know, they couldn't afford a full-time goalie coach at that time, so we used to do a small warm-up, join in with the lads, but then each day after training, I'd ask Ray if we could do another half an hour, 45 minutes, just pure goalkeeping, and he was obviously very, very keen to do that with me, and just got a couple of the young boys over to help serving, but I learned so much more from actually analysing the games. So we used to watch the videos and of the goals conceded, and because as games go on, when you kind of lacking experience, you see a picture in your mind that you believe is right, but when you actually see it again and you go over it, sometimes you don't understand stuff. So we used to sit down in his office and he used to talk me through it and say, well, you know, and sometimes just by a bit of communication and moving a defender, you know, one step to his right could prevent something, putting him in the right position, just things like that. And over time, obviously, the more games you play, more experience you get, and you learn more in adversity, making mistakes. You know, unfortunately, that's part and parcel of football, especially as a goalkeeper. You're going to make mistakes as you go along. It's important. Don't let it affect you. Don't dwell on it. But you learn from them and try not to repeat them anymore, if possible. But you don't, it's difficult to actually put on game-related stuff in training sometimes. If that makes sense. So you only learn from things, you know, having playing matches and gaining the experience in that way.